Hello and welcome to my introduction video for the game Flooded Forest. Flooded Forest is a 2 to 4 player game that uses tile placement and tile removal over two main phases to represent the flood and dry seasons of the Amazon rainforest. During the flood season, the Amazon River overflows its banks and floods the surrounding rainforest. Native fish then leave the river and go into the forest to find food and save spawning grounds. During the dry season, the floodwaters start to recede, and the fish that are roaming the forest must then make their way back to the river while trying to avoid hungry predators. The objective of Flooded Forest is to score the most points, which the players get during the dry phase. There are two ways players can score points, either by getting their fish safely back to the river or by eating the fish of other players. At the start of the game, the play area begins with a section of river along with 4 flood tiles. Each player gets a stack of their own flood tiles, a pile of cubes in their color, and pieces that represent predators. During the turns of the flood phase, the players will place flood tiles around the river and populate the flood areas with fish cubes and predator pieces. At the end of the flood phase, the play area will look something like this. At this point, the dry phase begins. During the dry phase, flood tiles are removed, which drives fish and predators to crowd together onto adjacent tiles and may allow predators to eat opponents' fish. There are 3 types of predators that roam around the flooded areas: piranhas, caiman, and jaguars. When a player takes a turn, they will remove a tile that can freely slide out from one of the flood areas. The animal pieces that were on that tile must then be moved to other flood tiles. Fish will always move together in a school to an adjacent tile that is connected by water. Each predator has their own set of movement rules and do not necessarily have to be moved with the fish. Once movement is resolved, then it is time to see if any predators are able to eat any fish. This will be either because they are moved onto a new tile, fish moved onto a tile already occupied by a predator, or a predator was victorious in a scuffle with another predator. Each predator has different rules to determine if and how many fish they get to eat based on the number of fish on that tile. On the back of each flood tile, there is an icon which represents one of the 4 animals. As a secondary part of a player's turn, they get to move a single animal of that type using the normal movement rules, which may trigger a predator to eat. 3 of the river tiles have gold rings on them, and once a fish gets to the river, it is placed on one that is open. The gold rings are worth either 1, 2, or 3 points and are occupied in ascending order, so the fish that get back to the river later in the game are worth more points. Once all of the gold rings have fish on them, the game ends immediately. Points are tallied, and the player with the most points is declared the winner.